he even got him to agree, we were at home to Wolves, that if we win, he was coming down afterwards to the coach's office.
Okay.
We're going to have some drinks together.
Nice. Welcome to The Conversation, a Colorado Rapids podcast where we talk about soccer, football, Colorado, really anything under the sun. Hey everybody, I'm Jordan Angeli, and today we have a very special guest, a Tottenham Academy product who quickly transitioned into coaching. He is now coached in the Premier League, the Championship, and across Europe. Known for his sharp eye, clear communication, and ability to bring the best out of players. Today, he joins us to talk about his journey, his philosophy, and the moments that shaped him on and off the field. Please welcome your new head coach of the Colorado Rapids, Matt Wells. Welcome, Matt. It's so nice to meet you. It has been a whirlwind for you.
Yeah.
Okay, first impressions of Colorado.
Yeah, it seems an incredible place. I've been here, 24 hours now, and I probably slept for one of those hours. So it's been intense, but it's been a great start. Great to meet everyone. Great to see the stadium. Great to see the facilities. Actually bumped into a couple of the players this morning as well. So it's been a really good start to the trip. I haven't seen much of the surrounding areas, but I'm sure I'll get to that on the trip.
Yeah, we got a nice view from over here to the mountains.
The view's not too bad.
The sun is like, when you're moving your head, I see the sun on your face. As a London boy, seeing the sun in the winter time has got to be a nice feeling.
Yeah, it is a rare treat. So, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, well, we're really excited to have you a part of the Colorado Rapids as the next head coach, which has got a nice ring to it. And before we really dig into all of that, I want to go back and really learn more about you and what life was like for Matt Wells in your family growing up. Like, how important was football to your family?
Yeah, it was big. So my granddad actually played in the double winning team at Tottenham. So he's a little bit of a footballing legend. So I was born obviously straight into that. So I feel like I had the instant pressure of trying to become a footballer, and but it was great. My family are so obsessed with football, obsessed with Tottenham. He played for Spurs, and everyone was Tottenham fans. So it was great to then become an academy player there and sort of come through the system. So from a very young age, football has been all that I know.
Yeah, you didn't get to watch your grandfather play, but when you were growing up, did you go back? Were you able to see some of his games, like go back and watch some of his games, or was it just him telling stories about some of the games he got to play in?
Yeah, a bit of both. So stories, but also at his house, he had this incredible trophy room.
Wow.
So he obviously won a lot of honours in his career. So you'd go into this room, and everywhere with the shirt, there was Pele's shirt, there was all these big players that he played against, there was his medals from winning the double, all his honours from being a youth player and playing for his country. So it's hard not to look at that and as a young boy, get that obsession for the game, and you want that to be your career. You want to have success, you want to lift trophies. So it was unquestionably a huge influence on me.
Yeah.
Sure.
You mentioned it a second ago, just the pressure of trying to become that. Was that an internal pressure, or is that kind of the way of life? Is it an external pressure in England saying, okay, I want to be a pro footballer when I'm growing up?
Yeah, I don't think an external pressure. So there was nothing overt from my family to say, oh, you have to become a footballer, you have to follow in Granddad's footsteps. So I think probably more internal. And of course you felt when I made each step, so when I signed for Tottenham, first of all, as a young player, of course you feel the excitement then of the family, and it's hard to not draw the connection between what you're trying to do and what my granddad had done. So it probably was quite a lot for a young person to shoulder that, but at least now the position I'm in, I feel like I'm fairly good and fairly well equipped at dealing with pressures.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been probably a big strength of mine.
Yeah, that's interesting, and kind of recognizing that you've learned that from such a young age.
Yeah.
When you joined the Tottenham Academy, is that a true process? Like you're signing a contract going into the academy? You were very young at this point, right?
Yeah. So I was 8 years old when I first signed. It is actually, it's changed a little bit since my time, but then it was ruthless. It was
really
every year you either got rejected and let go, or you got a new contract. So you'd go in for your meeting, maybe into a room like this, and the coach would be sat there, and you'd sit down.
When you're 8 years old. Oh my God.
The heart's beating. And that was then every year. So 9, 10, 11, I think under 12, then it become 2-year registrations.
Okay.
So you got a year's reprieve from the daunting meeting where you got told whether you were rejected or being kept on. So fortunately for me, I was able to come right through the system. So for me, it was a great experience.
Yeah.
I also had friends that, of course, got let go. And then once I became a coach, I was then the one sometimes delivering those meetings to young players. And yeah, that's probably the worst feeling you can have as a coach. Is telling a young player that they're being released from the club, and you know what it means to them and their family. So definitely not easy, but thankfully I didn't have to experience that.
Yeah. When you were in the academy as a player and you're progressing through, what are some of the things that you can remember as like true highlights to, because we'll talk about your career and how it kind of pivoted, but are there things that you hold on to, like, oh, those are just fond memories of being out on the football field and getting to play?
Yeah, probably your teammates is the thing that stands out most to me. And I, it's crazy. I built some relationships at a really young age with people that I'm still in touch with now. So that's pretty special. Probably as a year, my under 16 year, which in England that's a big season, because then you decide whether you get taken on full time or not. So under 17 is the first full time where you can actually say you leave school and you are now officially a full-time footballer. So you need a big under 16 year. And I hadn't had a great under 15 year, but under 16, I came in clutch, and I had a really good season, and I was scoring a lot of goals from midfield. And then I earned myself a full-time contract for the next 2 years at Tottenham. So when I got that news, that's probably the moment that stands out in my memory as a really proud moment for me, proud moment for the family.
Yeah. What did your grandfather say?
Yeah, they were delighted.
Yeah,
they were over the moon. I think they were pretty emotional. He was pretty level. I think my nan, my nan, she was very emotional, and she was telling me I was going to be the next captain of Tottenham and the captain of my country. So didn't quite materialize like that, but for that moment they had to look forward to.
Oh, I just love grandma. It's like gosh,
she's
just the best support.
She sent me a text as I boarded the plane out here and wished me luck for this. So shout out to Nan.
Shout out to Nan. They're the best. You're as players, as young people growing up, that's what we want to do. I was a soccer player too. I wanted to be a pro, and sometimes life has other things for us. You said you're a midfielder.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
But this pivot turned when you had, was it multiple injuries? Was it a specific injury or?
Yeah, it sort of started as soon as I went full time. So I barely had an injury from 9 to 16. I was pretty much available for every game. But as soon as I signed full time and I started the full time program, I guess the change in stimulus, for whatever reason, my body seemingly couldn't quite cope with it. So I had a lot of smaller injuries, and those smaller injuries started becoming bigger injuries, like bigger muscle injuries. And then the final one was my ACL in training. I had a complete rupture of my ACL and a couple of other ligaments in there. So it was a really bad injury, and it came at an awful time around sort of decision-making time. And that essentially ended my playing career.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to go through, and it sounds like, just from what I can learn about you, that it was a quick transition into finding what you wanted to do next in coaching. And that's not always the case. So was coaching on your mind before the injuries started stacking up, or what was that moment that you were like, okay, actually maybe I'll just go do this?
Yeah, it was probably, I'd love to take credit for it, but it wasn't really me. I'm very thankful to the people at Tottenham, a guy called John McDermott, who is now actually the technical director of the FA.
Oh, wow.
Runs English football now, but at the time he was academy manager of Tottenham. And it was him actually that really pushed me into the coaching route. And I knew from a young age I had a really bizarre perception of the game.
Yeah.
My peers didn't have.
Okay.
Like my peers just turn up and play football, what are we doing, and do the training, whereas
and you're like, if this person moves here, then this is
exactly. I was a lot more analytical, and I was also a lot more interested in, like, I used to go home and write down the sessions that we did, and at the time, like now I look back and I think that's really weird behavior. But at the time, that just seemed normal to me.
Yeah.
Go home and just draw out the sessions, and we did this little possession, and these were these were the rules. These were the coaching points the coach used, and I was doing that from 12, 13 under 14s. Which so now I look back, I realize, oh yeah, that's definitely different behaviour to what my peers were doing. So I knew when it got suggested to me by Joel, sort of pushed at me, like, come on, spend. He was brilliant. He made me sort of stay and chaperone the under 18 coach.
Okay.
And so I wasn't technically employed, but I was in every day. I was essentially a staff member. I was listening to their conversations, and it really opened my eyes to the coaching route. So once he nudged me in that direction, and I started to think about, oh yeah, I'd be really interested in this, because I'm interested in session design. I'm interested in player development. I'm interested in the strategy that exists behind football. So then it felt like a really good fit, and I sort of committed to that path.
Yeah, that is not normal. Like, can you imagine some of your players now doing that? Like, it just is not something that I think a lot of players do. So you whether you knew it or not, like, what a nice mentor to be like, actually, this is the way that you should go. How was that process of gaining licenses at such a young age? Like, you kind of quickly went through the licensing process. How difficult is that? It can be rigorous.
Yeah, it's obviously the badges are very intense. I was lucky that I did the first badge as a player.
Okay.
So when I was a scholar in those, I actually ended up doing 3 years full time as a player, including the time that I did my ACL. So during that time, I guess my parents were very big throughout. They always pushed me down the education route as well.
Okay.
But they weren't those parents that were just football. They were very much, football, hopefully, but if it isn't football, you must have like the top education. And and I did a similar thing with my coaching badges, just to make sure as a contingency, not thinking I would need them, just like do the first coaching badge as a player. So I was lucky that I'd done that, and then just quickly got on the pathway of doing my B license, my A license, and then acquired my pro license at a really young age. So the badges are great in terms of you meet people, and but for me, being really honest, it's not the primary learning. The primary learning is the environment you're in, the people you're around on a day to day, the experiences you choose to take. Like, I took the decision to actually come to America for 4 months, and I started my coaching here.
Really?
Doing some of the soccer camps around the US.
Yeah. Where was that?
Kansas, Minnesota, St. Louis, all
Midwest, baby.
Yeah, Midwest. Had some good barbecue. So yeah, I did that, and that was great for me. I became more independent. So I went away from home at a youngish age, and also just the foundations of, you weren't coaching. I wasn't teaching them how to play 4-3-3, but you're learning how to manage a group, how to, some of them were really young kids and they don't have great attention span. So you're learning different skills of, okay, how do I captivate this group that I'm stood in front of, and how do I deal with difference in terms of player ability? How do I deal with different personalities? So that was a good experience. And then I went back to England and got my first job at Stevenage and then Nike Academy, and then back to Tottenham.
Yeah. When you got back to Tottenham and got to coach in the academy system there, did it have that same feeling for you as when you were playing? Like, this is my club and I get to be a part of it, a part of helping these youth players get to accomplish their dreams.
Yeah, it was a massive. I remember really wanting the job. So when I interviewed for it, because I was in a good job at the time anyway, but I remember really wanting the job, and that desire was sort of twofold. It was partly because it was Tottenham, and it was, I'd been a fan, and obviously my family's connection, so I was like, I really want this. But there was also a large part of me that was like, this is big for my career. Like, this, I just felt like if I can get in this environment around some of the brightest minds in football, I just thought, there's no way I'm not going to learn so much. I'm going to be stretched every day. I'm going to be privy to some unbelievable conversations around football and player development. So I really, really wanted it. So I was delighted when I got the job, and it turned out to be true. It was such a good environment. I joined, and there was great coaches. There was like led by John McDermott, But then I joined at the same time as a guy called Kieran McKenna, who's now also doing brilliant in England as Ipswich Town's manager.
Okay.
Me and him came in at the same time. We had a great little cohort of coaches that had big opinions and challenged each other, stretched each other. So it was a really, really good environment to learn.
Yeah, that's so interesting because I think people think that coaching staffs all have the same thoughts on things. And really the best ones are the ones where it's like, actually, I feel like in possession, we need to be better in here, or this is what we need to look like in a press to go against this team. And being able to sit in those environments at a young time in your coaching career and learn that those can be really beneficial was probably super important. As you progress through, it feels like in your career, it was you and you join on with Scott Parker, and then you guys kind of go on this journey together. What was it specifically about your relationship with him, about coaching with him, that allowed you to feel like, okay, this is the guy I kind of want to latch onto in this season of my career?
Yeah, it sort of happened quite organically. I was actually in a spell where I was eyes are filled. I was looking maybe to leave and was looking for the next challenge, and John McDermott brought Scott in, and Scott had literally just finished playing. So I hadn't coached before. He was just retired as a footballer and wanted to go into coaching, and John felt it'd be a really good fit to put someone like Scott, who's got incredible experience in the game, has played at the highest level, has captained England, is a great natural leader, and to pair him with me, who's a bit more grounded in coaching. And so it was a really good fit, in that Scott was made no sort of secret in the fact that he was taking the under-18 job to essentially train to become a first-team manager. Right. So he had his broad vision of how he wanted the game to look, and then my job was I need to break that down and put the pieces of the puzzle together and design the practices we do every day so that come Saturday the game looks how Scott wants it to look. So I just think it was a really good fit in terms of skill sets, and then obviously we did well there. We struck it off. We had good chemistry, sort of on a person level, and then went into first team, and we continued that relationship. Yeah.
And it took you a couple of stops in England, Fulham, Bournemouth. Yeah. You go to Club Brugge. Is there anything about that journey in particular where you feel like it really fortified you as an assistant in that level? And you're just kind of speaking a little bit about how much you do as an assistant. I don't know if people understand a first assistant is crucial to a manager's success.
Yeah, I think every relationship is different. Everyone manages differently. I think the unique thing for me and why I loved working with Scott was because he was more on the management side and the unbelievable leader, fantastic one-to-one with the players. If you ask any player that plays for Scott Parker, they'll run through a brick wall for him, because he has that. He's so captivating, and he has incredible leadership qualities. And that sort of freed me up to, okay, I get to do all the coaching, which is like at the time was my real passion. So that was great. I remember when we first went at Fulham, I found myself 30 years old on a touchline against Pep Guardiola, and Guardiola was probably the biggest influence in my coaching and why I went when I first started coaching. He was the manager of Barcelona and was creating the incredible team that we all know with Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta, Messi. Incredible football, and that inspired me as a young coach. So then suddenly I'm 30 years old and I'm on the touchline.
You're like looking down the corner of your eye. He's really over there, isn't he?
Pitting my wits against him and trying to solve. So then before you play him, of course, you're studying their games, you're seeing new things. So you're trying to also prepare, but at the same time, you're learning, thinking, I see what Pep's doing there. I see why he's doing that. Okay, how do we stop that? What do we need to do? And so I think to be thrust into the elite level of the game, be against Premier League, and the next week I was on the sideline against Jurgen Klopp. Right. So you're pitting your wits and testing your tactical knowledge and your solutions against the best of the best at such a young age. So that was great for me, but most of all, proud of not easy to get a team promoted from the Championship. So to do it twice with two different clubs at the first time of asking, that's a record I'm really proud of, and it gives you a taste to go and achieve more.
Can you describe what that's like? Because I think as Americans we don't understand that.
Yeah. Well, it's the biggest game in football. like by revenue, play at the playoff final. So that first season with Fulham, obviously the intention of the club was to bounce straight back to the Premier League, and funny enough, we ended up playing a playoff final against Brentford, managed by Thomas Frank, who I've now just worked with. And thankfully, we won that game in extra time, and that's just an incredible feeling to win the playoff final.
Joy, relief. It's got to be a combination of so many emotions.
A product of just such hard work and a long season that was interrupted by COVID as well. So you had the stress of the COVID situation and everything that came with it, and then the restart where we were playing games with no fans, and it was again the leadership job that took place then for Scott as a first-time manager to navigate that group of players through something so unprecedented as a pandemic, and then deliver the ultimate success of winning the playoff final. That's something I'm really, really proud of to be a part of. And then the same at Bournemouth. We actually went up automatic promotion, but it came down to essentially a one-off game against Nottingham Forest at our home stadium, and we won 1-0. And the pitch, as soon as the whistle went, I was crying. The pitch invasion. My wife was in the stands, and that was a special evening. And again, that really gave me a taste for those two experiences. Gave me a taste, like, I want to win trophies. This is what the game's all about: is being successful, having that mindset to go and chase trophies and try and win. And that's kicked me on even further.
I love it. It feels like from Scott, you really, to me, you're gleaning and you're honing in on like how he managed the man-to-man, like how he managed players. You find your way back to Tottenham. You got to coach with Ange Postecoglou. You just mentioned Thomas Frank as well. If you think about those two coaches that you worked with, what are some of the things that you're trying to glean from them, or you took from them, saying, "Hey, when I get there, this is how I want to be too."
Yeah, I mean, I worked with Ange for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
And
is he as great as he seems?
He's the most incredible, captivating talker that I've ever seen. I used to take my diary. I didn't even have a diary. I went and bought.
Are we talking diary like a planner, like your day-to-day?
Yeah, so I'd have a day.
That's a diary, people.
Sorry, we'll do it journal.
I knew that, but calendar.
So after his first meeting, it was that good. I went to, there's a shop in England called WH Smith's that sells all stationery, and I purchased a diary so that I could just write down each day the meetings that he was doing, because they were literally that good. It was like a TED talk. Every meeting was so good, and you could see the players responded to him, and he had such conviction. What I took from Ange, he had clarity and conviction in the way that he wanted the team to play, and he was unwavering. It didn't matter the circumstance. It didn't matter who you were playing. There was no fear. And that's something I wouldn't say it's something I took. That's something that resonated with me, because that's how I see the game.
Yeah.
That you should go into the game with the desire, whether you'll be successful or not, but the desire to be the protagonist, to be the dominant team. That's how I see football. So when I met Ange, and that's what he was talking about, and that's what he sold me on to bring me in, and then I saw him deliver it, that was really inspirational to me as a young coach. So yeah, I loved working with him. And then obviously a shorter period with Thomas, Thomas creates an unbelievable environment. Like, his coaches all have a voice. He makes everyone feel important and wanted. So I've been really fortunate with the different characters and the different people that I've worked with, and you always take bits from them. But I think ultimately it's just they influence your own opinions at a small amount. To be sat where I am now as a head coach, your football has to come from inside. I can't say, oh, I play the Ange way, or I play the Thomas Frank way, or the Scott Parker way. It has to be something that comes from somewhere within you that even I can't describe. It's my passion, how I see the game.
Absolutely. I think when you're speaking about Ange in particular, and you talked about clarity and conviction, it actually, to see somebody do that and execute it, actually gives you confidence to say, like, I can do it the way that I want to.
Yeah.
And I want to be clear. I want to have convictions. It's not going to sound like the way he sounds.
Yeah.
But I think that it almost shows you, like, that's so who Ange is. I want to be that person. I want to be Matt. I want that's how I want my players to feel, that I have that same
belief.
Yeah.
We had such. I remember we went to the Etihad. And we had so many injuries. We couldn't even put a back four together, so we played 4 fullbacks. And there was a lot of stuff in the English press about the injuries, and will Ange still play the high line? And it was never up for debate. Like, we went there and played with 4 fullbacks, squeezing up to the halfway line, aggressive. But the way he sold that, his secret is in the things that people don't even see. They just see the end product. But I think if people got to sit in one of his meetings and see how he sells that with the passion that he sells it to the players, that's why the players go out there, and you see the players believe in it and the players commit to it.
Yeah.
And that's a real skill, and that's a skill that I hope I demonstrate as a head coach.
I love that. One of the things that I think about a lot is just you mentioned it with Scott, like, players catapulted into these positions where it goes straight from playing to here you are coaching a first team. You didn't have that, right? You had a very journey to get here as a first team head coach.
Yeah.
What do you appreciate about the journey to make it here?
Yeah, I'm very grateful to all the people that I've managed to encounter along the way. And like I say, they've definitely influenced areas of me. And but yeah, probably going back to what I alluded to earlier, I have had strong opinions on the game from a young age. And I think now to have the platform to put those in place, that's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah. Let's get to it then. What's your philosophy when we see your team play? Like, ideally, Matt, what are the Colorado Rapids going to look like in 2026?
Yeah, first of all, it's about the mindset of the team and the identity of the team. We have to have a strong identity. So if we turn up and we forgot our kit and we have to wear white t-shirts, I want everyone to know that's the Colorado Rapids. So, but they can identify that in the way that we play, the way we approach the game. We'll be dominant in every single match. That'll be the intention, never to take a step backwards. It's about us. Of course, we have the humility to adapt to the opponent with clever tactical tweaks, but even those will be with a proactive mindset of, okay, this opponent builds up in this way, so this is how we're going to press. So we might tweak the press, and then the following week the opponent builds in a different way. We tweak the press. What we don't do is decide, no, we're not going to press.
Yeah.
So the principles will always be pressing because we want the ball. We have to have the ball every game. That's my vision for the team. So 2 things in that. We have to press so aggressively because we need the ball back, but also we need to be brave with the ball in terms of how we build up. And I'm very tactical in how I see the game. So one of the big things for me coming here is the ability to have a pre-season. Coaching time, the players aren't going to pick it up straight away.
Right.
It is going to be a journey for them to understand exactly how do we build up, what movements do we make, what do we do if the opponent presses with a 9 and 10, what do we do if the opponent presses with a 9 and a winger, what do we do if the opponent drops off, all of these things. But yeah, the overall thing for us is the intention will be to dominate every single game, be aggressive, play in the opponent's half. That's my vision, and I'm confident we'll achieve it.
Yeah, I like that. And there are so many excellent players with this Rapids team that feels like when you're looking and, seeing what the next step was going to be, what sold you about this team, like when you're watching them, what did you love about some of the characters that this squad has? Yeah,
I think one of the biggest things that, given my background, that appealed to me was the youth. The youth in the squad. I feel like there's such, when they were at their best, I saw a young energy, a hunger, a lack of fear, which I really liked. That was when they were at their best. I saw also a lack of consistency, but that to me is exciting because I'm like, okay, I can go in there and have a massive impact if we're really, really clear with the tactical profile of the team. If we create a winning mentality, and a real belief, a bit like Ange did, in our identity, then the difficult moments of a football match, where I felt sometimes last season we suffered, maybe we conceded a goal against a run of play, that seemed to derail the team much more than it should do. So I think that'll be one of the challenges, is we have to create a strength of identity that can withstand the adversity that football throws in any given moment. I think we're really strong in what we believe in, and I really convinced the players, me and the staff, then I think we'll be in a position to be a lot stronger on the pitch, and for the young talent that we've got to really show itself week in, week out.
I don't know if balance is the right word, because I don't know if you can truly balance this, but how do you find that? You've worked with young players before and integrating them into a first team environment and saying, hey, we want to drive this youth movement, but also you got to win games. And you know that probably better than anybody playing in the Prem, right? You got to win games. What do you feel like is the best way to kind of, I don't know, balance is not the right word, but figure out how that works out?
Yeah, I think that's, you made that judgment or I will be making that judgment through pre-season. I think balance is a good word. We have to, and that's not to do with age. That's to do with the balance of the team, the right personalities. Do we have the right profile for the position, for the way that I want to play? We have to make sure that we coach the players through pre-season. That's combined with skillful recruitment, where we have to add to the squad based off the team needs to play in my image. So there are some slight differences from how we played last season. So I think that's a combination of factors, but no question we have to find the right balance. But the biggest thing for me is making sure we create the right mindset. So I think players don't look young. If you've got the right mindset, even young players, they're playing with a different mentality, a mentality to win. And I want to bring my experiences here from the playoff final, the promotion, the Europa League trophy, like bring that winning mindset here and try and transmit that to the players. And I think if we get that right, then I think the balance of the team will fit.
Yeah. If I just heard this question be asked in an interview recently, Kate Scott asked it to Cesc Fabregas. She said, if your previous players described you as a coach, how do you think they would describe you?
Intense. Yeah, intense, I think would be the word. I think I am 24/7 football. And very, very, very demanding. I have certain standards that I will be quite relentless in my pursuit of those. And if players fall below that, then they'll definitely know. But it's all for the greater good of pushing individuals forward, I want them to maximize their potential. And then if we do that well, then the team performance enhances, because all our players will be playing at the max of their ability. And then who knows how far we can go. We shouldn't put a limit on that.
Right.
There should be no limitations. I'm here to give everything, to win everything. So I want that to come across to the players. But yeah, I think if previous players were asked to describe me, I think probably one of the first words would be, he's intense.
How do you anticipate this to go? Because you go from, first assistant to now head coach, and those are different roles.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is going to be, what is one of the things you're focusing on, I should say, in this next step in order to make sure that you start off on a good foot with this group?
Yeah, I think probably the bigger challenge is maybe the staff. Is I have to make sure the staff truly understand what I want, what I believe in, and that goes from not just the style of play, but also the culture, the environment, how we set the standards, how we demand, how do the players behave in the gym, do the players turn up on time, are the players in the best condition they can be with body fats, are they doing the right things with nutrition? Every manager has different approaches, whereas I expect all of those things to be 100% every single day. So I have to get that across to the staff, and then also I have to make sure they're crystal clear in the style of play, so that they can help me implement that, because I can't do everything. I need, it's going to be a real collaborative approach. So I think in terms of assistant to head coach, I've been ready for a long time. So not much
I like that.
changes. I think it's more just the slight difference. Maybe different under Ange. I did a lot of sort of management of the other staff, but less so under Thomas. So I think the big shift for me now will be making sure that straight away, and that's started already, I'm having meetings with the staff to make sure they know they're under no illusions what it needs to look like.
Yeah, you're straight into meetings. You're getting ready for a draft, which is probably blowing your mind a little bit. What this looks like. Well, MLS is a very different league than everything else. Maybe what are you most looking forward to coaching in this league?
Yeah, I'm excited for the challenge.
Yeah,
I think it was obviously not a pathway that loads of coaches have taken to leave Premier League club playing Champions League football to come to the MLS. But for me, it was an absolute no-brainer. I see there's other coaches out there that I look at, Cesc Fabregas actually being one of them, seeing how well he's doing with Como. I see what Robbie Keane's doing, going to a different league. I see Liam Rosenior's gone to France, and I look at that and I think, these are bold moves to go and sort of build your coaching horizons and experience different leagues, different cultures. So for me, I love the challenge.
Yeah.
So that's what excites me.
Just sitting next to you, it feels like you have some boldness about you and hearing all these answers. So it does feel like a bold move. And it won't just be your first time in MLS. You'll also coach against the reigning champions here at Empower Field, playing against Messi in Miami. I bet already just hearing some of your tactics, you're excited to get into that one and dig in and see how you can beat the reigning champs.
Yeah, I think obviously when I saw the fixtures, I was delighted that we were playing them. More so because you want to test yourself against the best. So I know Messi would be a massive draw, of course, for the fans, and I'm sure that'll definitely be a sellout, that game. But yeah, for me, I don't worry too much about that. Of course, he's a legend. He's been an incredible player. But yeah, my focus is on how we build. I want that to be us.
Yeah.
So I think my focus is solely on that. How do we build a team that plays in our image, plays to dominate every game? I want every team to hate playing against us, and I want every fan to love watching us.
Yeah.
Like, if I can get every fan in the MLS to be like, oh, the Rapids are on tonight, we've got to tune in, we've got to watch that, then I know that I'm doing a good job. And if every team's looking at the fixtures and going, when have we got the Rapids? Don't want to play them, then
you're doing something right.
We're in a good place. So that's the ambition.
We love it. Can we do a quick little game before we let you go?
Go for it.
We are calling this, how wells do you know Matt?
Oh, that's so clever. Who could that?
It was a teamwork here. Teamwork here. Okay, just some fun things that we thought we'd try to get to know you a little bit better. So when you transitioned early from coaching, what was this thing about the game, about playing, that you really missed?
Oh, good question. One word answers, or
it could be maybe a sentence, maybe two sentences.
What did I miss most about playing? I missed most. This is going to sound like a strange answer, but I feel like if there's defensive midfielders out there, they'll understand.
Talk to me. Yep.
I loved nothing more than stopping an opposition counter-attack, coming across the pitch, regaining the ball, and then playing a simple pass. Oh. And then I would always, after I did that, I'd walk off, I'd strut off for the first few steps. Yeah, that's
a little swag.
That's the face I would pull. And I guess that's the emotion a striker feels when he scores a goal.
Yeah.
But that for me was the biggest buzz in football.
One of the things I miss is like pinging a ball and it landing like straight on someone's chest, like cross field, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, that's nice. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Are you more of a mornings are my go-to, or are you a late night guy? Like when are you getting the most work done? You're like, I'm a coach, I do both.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Yeah, but then I was thinking I like afternoons as well. I'm up late.
Yeah.
I've tried to get better with that, because obviously I know how important sleep is, so I have tried to bring the bedtime forward. But I know I struggle with that as an assistant. So as a head coach, I can see myself just lying in bed with the mind spinning with ideas for sessions, for players. For
you put that diary right there and just write it down, get it out of your mind.
Yeah.
Get it out of your
So
mind.
yeah, I'd say
Okay.
I'm a day and night person.
Yeah. What song is guaranteed to put you in a good mood?
Or, I mean, I'm a massive country music fan.
Yes, let's go. You know Rob is as well. Rob Holding.
Ah, nice. I didn't know that. I've not met Rob yet, but no. So probably my best moment actually last season was meeting Luke Combs. So Luke came to...
You and Luke Combs?
Yeah.
Casual sentence.
Yeah. He came to our game against Wolves. And obviously the club knew I was a massive fan.
Yeah.
So I got to present him a little gift before the game and had a great chat with him, and even got him to agree. We were at home to Wolves, that if we win, he was coming down afterwards to the coach's office.
Okay.
We're going to have some drinks together.
Nice.
And then we didn't win. So I was devastated. I was devastated that we didn't win. But
for the
so yeah, anything Luke Combs and Morgan Wallen.
Love it. Yeah. Luke Combs is on my top of I need to go see him in concert.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, what's the most football coach thing you do in your everyday life? Like, are you... This is a collaborative thing too. Like, are you color coding your shopping list? Are you breaking down your morning commute? Like, what? How does your coaching squeeze itself into your life?
Oh, I don't know that it does, because I am just always either at work or on the laptop studying games. So maybe sometimes I'm a little overbearing with my wife, and if she's trying to do certain activities, I will just slip into coaching mode and start trying to tell her, no, don't do it like this, do it like this. So she gets a little bit annoyed with that. So I think, and then I'm always conscious of, bringing it back in.
Let me switch the gears here.
Put the family hat on.
Yeah, okay, she's going to like hearing that you're aware of that.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Well, this has been so fun to get to chat with you, Matt. And I think that the Rapids fans are going to love listening to this. And most of all, they're going to be really excited that they have you on the sidelines coaching their squad. And hopefully the stands fill, because everybody wants to come watch the Colorado Rapids next year.
So that's the intention. We give them a team that they can be proud of.
Yep.
And a successful team that wins.
Yep. Well, welcome home.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you all for joining this episode of The Conversation. Make sure you subscribe and download wherever you listen to podcasts. That's it for us. Stay tuned for the next episode of The Conversation.